Are you using color properly on your graphic designs? I'm about to show you 4 key warning signs that will help you answer those very questions. Starting with this. Now, if your work has this first warning sign, it might be that certain colors may appear more dominant than other colors, which can be a really good thing when done correctly. But here the issue is that the dominant colors are used in totally the wrong ways. Now, this warning sign is commonly known as poor color balance, and it looks a little something like this. Consider designing the homepage for a website showcasing the latest fashion collection for a brand. Poor color balance might arise if the dominant color scheme overwhelms the page, making it difficult for the users to focus on specific elements such as product images or call to actions. For example, if the background color is too bright or too saturated, it may overshadow the product images or important navigation links, and this results in a disjointed and ineffective user experience. Remember, the key importance of a website is to get clicks and sales. So obviously here, that has been made more difficult with poor color balance. However, poor color balance can actually extend across multiple different designs, and this is how that occurs. Now, consider designing packaging for a line of skincare products. Poor color balance could arise if the colors used for each product are not balanced in their distribution across the packaging design. For example, if one variant is presented with bold, attention-grabbing colors, while the other ones are depicted in more subdued tones, it might create an imbalance in visual emphasis, and this might make the brand as a whole not function properly. It seems simple and logical, right? But many designers will actually not consider a balance of color across multiple different designs in terms of saturation, temperature, and tone. Now, if you're creating designs that exhibit the next warning sign, it can lead to your target audience being totally turned off by your work, and the design's message falling utterly flat. You really don't want that. Imagine designing a logo for a health and wellness brand that specializes in yoga and meditation products. Think to yourself, what sort of color scheme would you choose for such a brand or logo? Some designers might opt for warm colors, some perhaps even energetic colors such as red and orange to communicate a sense of well-being and change. However, this is probably almost certainly contradictory to the brand's message of relaxation and peace. Instead, opting for cooler, calming colors like blue or green would be better because it aligns with the brand's values and resonates with the target audience. But that is of course relative to each project and each different brief. So the warning sign here is inappropriate or inadequate use of color temperature. On the flip side, if you're designing packaging for a children's toy brand, incorrect color temperature could arise if cool, calming colors are used exclusively on the packaging design, failing to capture the attention and enthusiasm of the brand's younger audience. So make sure you know the vibe and also the emotion and tone of your design, and then from there, work out what kind of temperature you need to apply in terms of the color palette. Is it warm or is it cold? Or is it in between? It's really that simple, but also it's really that important. But moving on, does what I'm about to say sound familiar to you and your graphic design career? Let's take, for example, a magazine layout design. There can be a tendency to get carried away sometimes, and some designers will deploy things like random gradients spanning the entire background, or using bright yellow, glowing text that isn't actually that legible. Furthermore, the colorful effects overpower the text and images, making it difficult for readers to focus on the content and follow the narrative flow of the magazine itself. This is a classic case of a designer who has gotten carried away with color use and color effects, while forgetting the function of the design itself. And to remedy that, simply remember this one small snippet of graphic design wisdom. Color is merely a tool that helps complement the emotion, the tone, and the message of a design. Color is very rarely ever the star of the show, and in fact, it's just one cog in the machine mechanism of a graphic design. Color needs to be used wisely, and the next point in today's video is going to demonstrate that perfectly. Now, there is one way to use color that can make a design look utterly professional, or if it's done incorrectly, it can make a design look really amateurish. I'm pretty sure I know which type of design you'd rather create. So we're just here chilling on FreePick, and let's search for brochures just to demonstrate the next color warning sign. So if you look here, this first design does not exhibit the color warning sign I'm going to talk about soon. But take a close look at this design and try and figure out what has it done correctly in terms of color use. What's really obvious about it? Also, as another clue, this design isn't guilty of the color warning as well. This design has done things correctly. Have you managed to figure out what I'm talking about here? What is that warning sign? Well, if you take a look at this design here, what do you now see to be different than the other two designs? Well, this design uses too many colors, and the colors used aren't cohesively consistent throughout the design. Using too many colors on a design is a surefire way to kill it and its use case and its worth. By using too many colors like this, especially on typography, it's just a visual overload for the audience, and it makes the design appear weak and amateurish. Using too many colors can also spill over to logo design as well. However, when it comes to a logo design, it's kind of a grey area, excuse the pun. Now, I do like this design, and from reading the brief, I understand the logic of the colors, but to me, it makes the design look hectic and just too busy. It's less memorable than if it was a few colors. In fact, if you ask ChatGPT why it's a bad idea to use too many colors on a logo design, it gives 10 strong reasons, including memorability, reproduction cost, flexibility, and so on. Now again, the brief for this design here might justify the use of many different colors, but to me, things seem a whole lot more memorable and efficient with just one or two colors. But hey, I'm a purist, and yes, this design might work well for this brief, but as a general rule, don't use too many colors on your designs. And now, let's quickly put any confusion or lack of confidence to bed and see a step-by-step method for actually selecting colors. So let's say you are tasked with creating the artwork for a website based around mental health awareness, or even to design the website itself. Color Analogy's method requires that we first pick out emotions to target. And for this website here, the desired emotion is empathy and support. You will probably decide that the website should evoke feelings of peace, comfort, and hope for visitors seeking mental health resources and information. And once you have that research, we then look at how colors are typically associated with the emotions of peace, comfort, and hope. And soon we are actually going to flip things on their head. But in this context, warmer soft colors like soothing blues and gentle pastels are often linked to comfort and understanding, while shades of green can represent growth, renewal, and hope. So begin by selecting a base color. In this case, you might choose a soft, comforting blue as it signifies empathy and understanding. Then, complement this with pastel shades like light lavender or soft pink to represent comfort and compassion. Now these colors can be used for background elements, which creates a gentle and nurturing atmosphere. To inject a sense of hope and growth, add a touch of light green or mint green as an accent color. Now this color can be used for call to actions or to highlight important information, symbolizing the potential for renewal and positive change. However, here's the complete flip side to all of this. Now, you might actually have determined in the brief that this audience of the website are young teenagers in regard to mental health, and in which case, you might want to increase the saturation away from pastel colors and use things like bright, bold orange as a base color, which will trigger a sense of action and change, which helps with positivity and hope. Share your design with colleagues, clients, or target audience members to gather some feedback. Their perspectives can help you refine and enhance the color palette. Always keep in mind the accessibility of your design, especially if it's intended for digital platforms. Make sure the text remains legible and the color choices adhere to accessibility standards. But if you haven't got your fill of graphic design education today, just click that video on screen. But until next time guys, design your future today. Peace.